power rankings, and oh my gosh, this list is a mess. So coming in at number 32, I have the Houston Texans. So they were competitive in their game with the Raiders, but they collapsed in the fourth quarter and ended up losing it. At number 31, I have the Detroit Lions. So the Lions defense actually ended up playing a lot better than they had been this season in the first half of their game versus the Cowboys. But in the second half, the Cowboys offense heated up and the Lions went on to lose their 5th game of the season. At number 30, I have the Cleveland Browns. They were competitive with their division rival, the Ravens, but they ended up losing their 4th game in a row. At number 29, I have the Carolina Panthers. So the Panthers obviously have the biggest upset of the week, pulling off the big win versus the Buccaneers. I don't know how they did it. At number 28, I have the Denver Broncos, so another loss for the Broncos. This defense was bending, not breaking for the most part in this game versus the Jets, but the offense couldn't put points on the board, and that's been the story this whole season for the Broncos. At number 27, I have the New Orleans Saints, so a really ugly loss for the Saints on Thursday Night Football versus the Cardinals. I mean, Andy Dalton was looking like primetime Kirk Cousins with the amount of picks he was throwing in this one. At number 26, I have the Pittsburgh Steelers, so this game came down to the final drive for the Steelers. Their defense, they played another really good game and held this Dolphins offense, especially in the second half. But when Kenny Pickett had a chance to drive down the field and win the game, he made a rookie mistake and threw the game-ending interception. At number 25, I have the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Jaguars were literally inches away from a win versus the Giants. This Jaguars defense, it just hasn't been able to get those big stops late in the game to really seal the win. At number 24, I have the Indianapolis Colts. So after throwing 2 picks in their loss versus the Titans, Matt Ryan has been benched for the rest of the season. Sam Ehlinger is going to be the starter. Maybe he's going to give them some spark on offense because they really need it. At number 23, I have the Atlanta Falcons. A tough loss for them versus the Bengals. Joe Burrow just absolutely shredded the secondary for 481 yards and 3 touchdowns. At number 22, I have the Green Bay Packers. It is officially panic time in Green Bay. They've lost their last 3 games to the Jets, Giants, and Commanders, and the Vikings are sitting in first place at 5-1. It's an uphill battle for the Packers right now. At number 21, I have the Washington Commanders, so a big win for the Commanders versus the Packers. Heineke had more passing yards than Rodgers in this one, and this Washington defense had Rodgers looking more like Frogers. At number 20, I have the Las Vegas Raiders, so they got the win versus the Texans, but it was a little closer than I expected in the third quarter. But in the fourth quarter, the Raiders really just took over and were able to really secure this win by a good amount of points. At number 19, I have the Arizona Cardinals. After scoring no touchdowns in week 6, in week 7 on Thursday Night Football, the Cardinals put up 42 points versus the Saints, so a very, very good bounce back game. At number 18, I have the New Orleans Saints. What happened to this defense? What happened to this lockdown secondary? The Bears offense had their best game by far versus this Patriots defense, and obviously the Patriots took a big L on Monday Night Football. At number 17, I have the Chicago Bears. Maybe I'm overreacting by moving the Bears up this much, but come on. That was so impressive what they did on Monday Night Football. Justin Fields, he was making it happen with a ton of big plays, with his arm, with his legs, and that defense was just getting stop after stop, just taking all the hope out of that Patriots offense. At number 16, I have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So I probably should have moved the Buccaneers down lower after that loss versus the Panthers, because the Panthers were like the worst team in the league before last week, and that was just a really ugly loss. But I've learned never to count Tom Brady out. I mean, they're still tied for first in their division, so there's still something to play for, right? But I mean, it's really ugly. I don't think I've ever seen it this bad from Tom Brady. At number 15, I have the San Francisco 49ers. I don't really know how they ended up moving up a spot after a loss. I guess just because a bunch of other teams lost. But yeah, losing to the Chiefs, not the worst team to lose to, I guess. You know, Chiefs are a good team. At number 14, I have the Los Angeles Chargers. So a really bad Sunday for the Chargers. They got dominated by the Seahawks and ended up losing. But they also lost their number 1 cornerback, J.C. Jackson, for the season in this game. And oh yeah, Mike Williams got injured in this game. He has a high ankle sprain and he's going to be out for a few weeks too. Just so many injuries for this Chargers team this season. At number 13, I have the Seattle Seahawks. Kenneth Walker absolutely dominated in their win. He had over 160 rushing yards, 2 touchdowns, and oh yeah, Seattle is in first place in the NFC West. Who would have thought, guys? Who would have thought? At number 12, I have the Los Angeles Rams. They were on a bye, but they ended up moving up because other teams lost. At number 11, I have the Tennessee Titans. So a nice win for them versus their division rival, the Colts. And that win really makes the AFC South the Titans to lose. At number 10, I have the Miami Dolphins. So 2 weeks ago, the Dolphins were number 10 on my power ranking. Then they dropped down to number 18 last week. But after that win versus the Steelers, they're right back up at the number 10 spot. It was a nice win for them in Tua's first game back. Yes, I would have loved to see the offense not really slow down and not be able to put up points in the second half there, but still a good win in Tua's first game back. Now I think they're going to start to gain some momentum again, and we're going to see the team, I believe, that we saw in the first 3 weeks of the season. At number 9, I have the Baltimore Ravens. They got the win versus the Browns, but oh my gosh, they should have won that game by a lot more. I don't know how confident I am in the Ravens right now. I was super confident in them coming into the season, but I don't know how I feel about them right now. At number 8, I have the Cincinnati Bengals. Joey B turned into Joe Burrow with ice in his veins in this game. He had almost 500 passing yards versus the Falcons and a big win for the Bengals. At number 7, I have the New York Jets. Another win for this gritty squad. Sauce Gardner is already looking like a lockdown corner in the NFL. He had Cortland Sutton lost in the sauce, baby, but 2 big injuries for the Jets. Elijah Vera Tucker is going to be out for the season, and so is Breece Hall. So 2 huge losses for them, but I do love the trade they made for James Robinson. That's a really good trade for the Jets. At number 6, I have the Dallas Cowboys. So their offense started off a little slow in this one versus the Lions, but their defense was able to keep them in this and allow the offense time to, heat up, which they did in the second half, and they ended up getting the win. At number 5, I have the Minnesota Vikings. They were on a bye. At number 4, I have the New York Giants. Danny Dimes is turning into Danny ice in my veins because of the number of game-winning drives this guy has led the Giants on in just this season. Another comeback win for the Giants, and they're 6-1 now. At number 3, I have the Kansas City Chiefs. A nice bounce-back win for them versus the 49ers. Patrick Mahomes had over 400 passing yards and 3 tutties. At number 2, I have the Buffalo Bills. They were on a bye. And at number 1, I have the Philadelphia Eagles, another team that was also on a bye. I have them at number 1 because they're undefeated, so I feel like I can't have the only undefeated team in the NFL heading into week 8 not number 1, but the Bills are right behind them. I'll say that. The Bills are right there. I want to know your guys' top 5 NFL teams. Let me know in the comments down below. Appreciate you watching to the end. Peace.